Jeff was the jazz head, and I was just taking in all of this music that I'd never heard before. But he's making playlists, and I just started sitting in with him, and it's mostly upright bass stuff, you know, because that's
yeah,
what I was into.
They had one of the biggest record collections in New England, jazz record collections, and it was really untouched, so we would just go through it all night and listen to stuff we'd never heard.
Because during the day they were playing alternative rock, basically. So
yeah, that was one of the funniest times of that night. Was at 5 a.m. when the show would switch over from jazz radio to alternative rock, and there would be this like WBRU, you know?
Yeah.
Like alternative rock, right at 5 a.m. And that's when all the jazz DJs would go home and get some breakfast.
When did you decide to put a band together or start creating music together?
Well, we played in a lot of pretty silly bands over the years. Our first band is called Hi, This Is Otis, and we were just kind of straight ahead.
I have one tape that remains from those days, and no one will ever hear it, but I do have one.
We had like 4 months in there. It was amazing. As much space as you needed to do any of the acoustic ideas that we were interested in doing, with big space recording and reamping, different chambers that sounded different ways. You have one room with a really sibilant reverb, and then another room that just had this boomy, lethargic, like muted reverb that would come back. So it took us a few months to figure out what we were really capturing. The space is really disorienting. The loudest song on there, Boeing 737, is a song that is really aggressive and it has a thunderous drum part, but it's a slow drum part. It's like this beating, but it's not like there's all these articulations that if those get lost, the song gets lost.
The lyrics of that song are intense when you talk about seeing the two towers come down from a bar on the 84th floor. That lyric is just the incredible picture that it paints, and the intensity of that shot. Tell me, is that song an ode to someone real who had experienced that at 9/11, being down there, or is it kind of from a storytelling from a view of how you imagined it? Tell me about the lyrics to that track.
I think it's gotten misinterpreted partly because a lot of the album dealt with Philippe Petit, the wire walker who walked on the towers.
Yeah.
And a lot of the album centered on that act and the kind of that wild pursuit of some beauty that is intangible. He became a hero for the record, but a lot of the songs that were written in that theme ended up getting cut. I think it's really more about his moment though, and how that was recontextualized on 9/11. But it's vague, and it stays vague even to us.
On my way home, and there's lonesome graveyard.
Now, Ghost Woman Blues, the first single on the record. There's a video that goes with it that shows what looks like a bunch of abandoned factory buildings.
There's 9 buildings, a similar size. Ours is the smallest one, and it was just the filmmaker who came and recorded a lot of that stuff. He was just kind of wandering around the whole time we were there, kind of keep quiet, and we had not much idea what he was up to. But he just took some strolls through the lot, and it's all covered in snow. It was a beautiful setting, and when we saw that at the end, he cut together some tapes for us.
So let's talk about the instruments that you guys, there's so many cool instruments you use. How did that part of the Low Anthem come about, where you guys kept looking and adding new instruments to what you were doing and experimenting?
I think we're really searching for different kinds of sounds, sounds that I don't know, that we haven't heard, sounds that surprise us. One of the most interesting things I think that's been happening to us is that people have been bringing their old instruments to our shows and giving them to us. Just because they're like, oh, this was up in my attic, I don't really have any use for this. but I bet you guys do. And then they just give it to us.
I ain't yet fit to come down.
His mustaches, he's got his one-of-a-kind mustache.
People give me various mustache-related items, like this mustache pen, for instance.
That's fantastic.